let's talk about ethics. You know, that's another subject that is being kind of misduplicated. In Scientology, ethics has been abused in the last few years and has been misunderstood. I do a lot of ethics handlings in the field. It's actually one of my favorite things to do because I studied law, so ethics is a subject that is in my heart. And I think that ethics should be a fun thing to do, not a stressful thing or horrible thing or a thing you have to do so that you can go back in session or that the supervisor leaves you alone or whatever. What did you have to say on that?
Well, for me, I was an EO at Milton Casellas' school. He's a famous teacher.
EO, ethics officer?
Yeah, an EO is an ethics officer at Milton Casellas' school. He's a famous teacher at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. He started the school with 800 students. And I walked into a class that was really down-tone, and it had about 30 students in it, but only 15 were there. They were talking while the teacher was talking, and, you know, just, it was a really bad situation. But it was there that I learned a lot about ethics. And one of the things that I did is I looked at this class and said, what can I do with this class? And so I grabbed each one and I just talked to them and let them tell me all their problems, each one separately. And then I said, well, wait, what are you doing right now in class? What's your product? What, you know, have you put up any scenes? Because they would go and put up scenes together. And they'd say, no, I haven't put up anything in a while. And I said, okay, look, what I want you to do is to put up a scene. And so they would go and put their scene on the books and put up the scenes. And all of a sudden, it was like amazing that they instantly changed their complete attitude. It's like they forgot that their girlfriend was cheating on them and all these problems that they had. Like, they just kept talking for an hour about it, and they had disappeared just by them doing what they were paying to do. I mean, they were paying for this class and they were just sitting there bored, and they started doing what they wanted to do, and it completely changed the tone level. And I feel like in Scientology, that's why most of what I do in my group, the muster, is I try to focus on the positive stuff, because I try to say, okay, what are people's wins? What are people like doing for Scientology? Because so many people have fallen off purpose. I mean, it's the ARC broken field for a reason, you know? Right. We're ARC broken. So, but the minute that people get back on their purpose, they brighten up, they're alive. It's like, you forget all their out ethics situations go away. So you don't really have to address those on most cases, I feel. You know, most of the people can really be handled just by getting them doing some kind of work or some kind of purpose. And Scientology is such a strong, beautiful purpose. I think it, no matter what, even when people like fall off or get so pissed off and they hate this person and that person and the church and da da da, you just get them doing Scientology again, and it's like all those wins that they had, everything just comes back, and it's a beautiful, ethics is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, the way I view ethics is something that the person has to cognite on their own.
Yeah.
And by putting them on purpose, the person kind of puts their own ethics in at once. However, people has to understand exactly what it is, and I'm going to give a tip on ethics. Okay. My point of view is when I help a person to do ethics handling, I want to make sure that they understand the tech of ethics, so that after we're done with the program, they go and they handle their own ethics, that they don't need an ethics officer or they don't need a master of arms. It's like, oh, my ethics officer ordered me, and I'm like, what? Yeah, exactly. Excuse me? The way I understand Scientology is you learn the tech, you make it your own, you apply it for survival to the best, for helping others and to helping yourself. So when you learn ethics, or when you do an ethics program with me, the way I do it is, you know how to do it, you know how to apply it, and you take care of yourself, and you handle your own life, not somebody else. And then you go towards your goals and purposes. And sometimes I have people that says, well, I don't have a lot of money to do a whole ethics program, and give me some tips. Very easy. I say, write your ideal scene on the first, second, and third dynamic. clear the conditions, and then depending on how far or how close you are to the ideal sinistue condition.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, ethics is like, from what I read of it, like this whole PTS SP thing, it's hilarious. I work with SPs all the time. I'm in the entertainment industry, for crying out loud. So, I think it's hilarious that so many people go into, oh, they're SP, we can never talk to them. No, you can work with them. You can actually work with SPs. So the technology is not there to stop you from getting Scientology. It is there to help you get it. So if you're using ethics technology to stop someone from getting Scientology, or someone is using it on you to stop you from getting Scientology, they are clearly not using it correctly. So, exactly what you said. If someone reads it, they should be reading it with the intention to understand it for themselves so that it helps them in life, not stops them.
Well, isn't that crazy? Oh, you cannot talk to that person, he's an SP, and you have to disconnect. Excuse me? So that means you are an effect of an SP, and you cannot handle that? What happened to your TRs, or what happened with your confront?
Yeah.
So to me, having a person disconnect is totally out tech, because that means that they're putting you a total effect, so you do never disconnect. You actually confront and handle and be willing to grant beingness even to people who are harmful, or to people who have no good intentions or that are not that good. Either handle them or just grant them beingness, and you don't have to love them or hate them or anything. Just be there.
There's plenty of non-Scientologists that handle suppressive
Exactly.
every day. It's like we joined Scientology so that we can't handle suppressive. I mean, it makes no sense. So you're right. You're
No, I
absolutely...
agree with you on that one. Yeah. So to me, also the other thing is the policy on disconnection.
Yeah.
Again, is the same thing. We're supposed to be in Scientology so that we can have ARC, we can have a better life, we can have a better family, and then suddenly, you cannot talk to your father anymore because he doesn't agree with our point of view. It's like, excuse me? No, because that's another thing, then you put the person a total effect of the group, and put the family as well a total effect, and I don't see how you can win with that. And so the policy on disconnection has been canceled. Yes, of course, some people continues applying it, and that is total outtake, and that's what I want to say.
And I also think that, but on both sides, we disconnect from our friends because we're trying to help them, go up the bridge, but they're not going up the bridge. Let's get realistic here. We don't need to disconnect. I have managed to maintain most of my friends still, regardless, it doesn't matter, they're in the church, out of the church, around the church. I still keep in good communication with all my friends. And I honestly feel like the best thing that we all can do is to stay connected to people and not follow false reports and policies. You're not suppressive. So
yes, I want to show something really quickly.
Yeah.
Here, that I have here. There is this policy. I hope it shows in the camera the date. Does it show there? Okay, it says here, Howard Communications Office, HCO Policy Letter 15 November 1968, and it says cancellation of disconnection. Since we can now handle all types of cases, disconnection as a condition is cancelled. And here's the date. Copyright source 1976, original green volume from 1976, OEC course